We are just surrounded by words that promise everything but really define nothing. Think about it. They're on our food packaging, in political speeches, all over corporate mission statements, and they're all designed to make us feel good, to win our trust, and to persuade us, all without saying anything concrete. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on these powerful, super persuasive, and purposefully vague words.
Okay, take this word right here, natural. You see it absolutely everywhere. And it suggests purity, right? Health, something straight from the earth. It just feels good to buy something that's natural. But what does it actually mean? I mean, what is that company promising you with that one single word?
Or how about wholesome? This one's interesting because it kind of blends the idea of good nutrition with this sense of moral goodness. It feels like something a good parent would choose for their family. But how do you measure wholesome? It's a feeling, not a fact.
And then, of course, there's premium. This word just drips with luxury and superior quality. It makes you feel like you're getting the absolute best. But what is it superior to? What specific thing makes it premium? The word itself? It offers zero answers. And this isn't just about selling you stuff. Think about a political slogan like hope. It's incredibly powerful. But what does it actually promise? Is it hope for a better economy, for peace, for a more civil society? Well, the brilliance of the word is that it can mean all of those things. It lets us project our own desires right onto it.
So this is the key question, right? When we run into these emotionally charged words, natural, wholesome, premium, hope, what is the actual promise being made to us? What are we really getting?
Well, there's a name for this whole technique. It's called a glittering generality, and the source here defines it as a lovely-sounding word used to make you feel good without effort telling you what it actually means. It's like a verbal Rorschach test. It's so vague that it invites you, the audience, to just supply your own positive meaning.
It pretty much boils down to this simple phrase. Trust me, it's brilliant. It's an appeal to your emotions, not your logic. The whole goal is just to get you to agree without asking any of the tough follow-up questions. And that right there is the core of the strategy.
Okay, so now that we've got the definition down, let's work on our spotting skills. Let's head into a little gallery of glitter and see how these phrases actually show up out in the wild.
So here's a classic, trusted by professionals. Sounds super authoritative, doesn't it? It just creates this sense of reliability. But we have to stop and ask, which professionals, how many of them, and what is their trust even based on? Without those specifics, it's really just an appeal to some anonymous authority.
And here's another one that just bundles a bunch of positive concepts together. For a sustainable future. I mean, that sounds undeniably good. Of course, we all want that. But what does sustainable actually mean in this context? What does a fair future look like? The phrase is so broad, it's literally impossible to disagree with or to hold anyone accountable to. Let's circle back to natural for a second, because our source makes a really startling point here. So the word suggests purity and health, but things like cyanide and arsenic, well, they're also natural. And that really drives home the point that the word itself is no guarantee of safety or quality. Not at all. So we've seen how these glittering generalities work in advertising and on products, but this technique gets even more powerful when it moves from just slogans to entire systems, shaping not just what we buy, but our whole belief systems. Are you awake? This simple question uses one of the most durable and honestly versatile glittering generalities in all of history, this whole idea of an awakening. Just look at how this one word, awakening, can be used in totally different contexts. In religion, it implies you're spiritually perceptive. In politics, it implies you're morally brave. And in the world of conspiracy theories, it suggests you're intellectually evolved. The word itself is vague, but in every single case, it flatters the believer and creates an in-group of those who are awake. And this isn't just about one word. Secular ideologies and wellness culture use the exact same kind of loaded language. Words like justice, liberation, progress, the cause, the people, healing, balance. They all sound so positive and meaningful, but they work by inviting us to fill in the blanks ourselves. So we've seen the glitter, we've explored the systems. Now for the most important part of this whole explainer, giving you a simple, really powerful tool to cut right through all of it. So here's the most important thing to remember about these words. They don't lie, they blur. Their real power comes not from deception, but from ambiguity. They replaced clear, definable facts with a warm, emotional haze that's super easy to agree with and really hard to question. And this leads us to a very simple two-step defense. First, now that you know what you're looking for,
you can start to notice the glitter everywhere. And second, once you spot it, you just have to ask the right question.
And that question is simply this: what does that actually mean? The next time you hear a politician promise freedom, or a company sell well-being, or a movement call for justice, just ask that one simple question. It's the one tool that cuts right through the glitter, demands substance over style, and empowers you to think critically in a world that is just full of persuasive words.